We're back, it's Mahala Monday. Good morning, everybody. And I tell you what, we're not in our normal confines. We're actually on a bit of a road trip. But it is super special to have you with us here this morning. So welcome to a live broadcast. And we find ourselves at Nebo Primary in the heart of Ravensmead, which is in the mother city. My name is Dougal. As always, the partner in crime is Rhoda. She's here, who's going to be talking quite a bit today, apparently.
Welcome, everybody, to Mahala Monday. And it is a rainy morning, but beautiful because we need it. We need it in Cape Town. So, you know what? For me, a shower was a blessing. So, welcome everybody, and I hope you can have a fabulous show with us today because I'm extremely excited about the show today.
Yeah, and we've been quite excited about taking this particular road trip because it touches on a topic that we've been talking about. Now, before we tell you all the ins and outs about it, the most important thing is that you know that this is an interactive show. So, once again, we're welcome and look very much forward to your contribution for all of this. So, please send us a message if you've got a question or, you know, suggestion or anything like that, but please just put it through to us. And of course, the details you'll find at the bottom of your screen. And more importantly, remember to like and share all of this. So, Nebo Primary, that is where we are. Firstly, primary school. When's the last time you were at primary school? Give your age away. Come now.
No, I'm not giving my age away, Dougal. We're talking about years ago, but very exciting times. I actually enjoyed my primary school days. And being here made me quite excited, and seeing all these little kids, it gave me a little bit of butterflies and funny, you know. The only thing I hated about school was obviously exams.
Here it comes.
I hated exams. Studying,
Who does? But the one most important thing, and it's funny that we laugh about it, but I mean, there is an adage, and of course a wonderful saying that says you can't feed a hungry child. And
So
of course,
true.
when the chips are down, the most basic thing when it comes to education, it kind of just falls to the side, doesn't it?
It does. And you know what, Dougal? It was quite being here early this morning and seeing the kids coming into the kitchen and actually sitting and having a meal. It was extremely heartwarming. And you know what? And I thought to myself, most of these kids will probably be their very first meal, and they might not have had a meal even last night. And this is something they look forward to.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really beautiful seeing them sitting and eating. And actually, just like, you know, I could see some of them were very hungry. Yeah. And, you know, just seeing that. And I'm thinking to myself, now at least you're going into a classroom where your tummy is full. Yeah. Like you said, you can't, you know how you can just sit when your stomach is making a noise and you're hungry. Yeah. You know, so it was heartwarming.
And Rhoda, this is really the basis of why we are here today. Now, we all understand, of course, in today's society, we've got a multitude of issues and challenges. And I don't want to say problem because it's a challenges, because somehow we as a civilization, more importantly as a community, have found ways around it. And a lot of times it is super important when collaboration takes place, great partnerships. It's like a wonderful friendship. You make a connection and of course great things happen. And great things only happen when wonderful people work together. And that is exactly what have brought us out to Nebo Primary today here in Ravensmead, because this is something we always talk about. We talk about helping each other, getting involved, being part of the solution. And as much as we hear this, how many times does it actually happen? And when it does happen, I can tell you what, the example is just fantastic. So we find ourselves at Nebo in Ravensmead. Now, of course, the community in Ravensmead, which is in Cape Town, like any other community, faces many challenges. But then corporates get involved and they form wonderful partnerships with the schools. And more importantly, the school needs to be commended because this really speaks to the leadership of change and development, and more particularly speaking to the need of the learners that is at the school. Now, we've got several guests that we're going to introduce you, and as always, of course, if you've got a question, if you got a comment on this, and more importantly for your organization, trust me, I think this is going to be a perfect example. Now, of course, an organization who is very much involved in their community is Sun Grand West, of course, one of the units from Sun International. Now, we joined this morning with Chrissy Dyers, who has joined us, who is the SED officer at Grand West. Now, of course, SED might be a very new term to most of you, but we used to call this corporate social investment. It used to be CSI. Now it is SED, which is social economic development, which is it. But Chrissy, thank you so much for joining us, man. Welcome to Mahala Monday.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us here today.
Listen, we've been wanting to get you on because
Very
we know
long time.
At Grand West, you've been so proactive and making
yeah.
such huge differences in the community, which is a fantastic example. Now, of course, we try to set up why we're here today to the best of our ability, but you tell us quickly, what is it that you do?
Okay, so social economic development is going out there to the community, providing support for the communities. You know, if it's education, sports, arts and culture, we try to go out there and assist where we can.
Okay, and it's obviously something that is very important.
It is very important because we know there's so many needs out there. You know, school uniforms, children need assistance with feeding, kitchen revamp. So it is definitely an important aspect and focus area that Grand West is engaging in.
Okay, and how did the school Nebo come on your radar?
Our journey with Nebo Primary started in 2021.
Wow.
Our first initial site visit was in 2021. The initial request was for assistance with the vegetable garden. So we did our site visit, and yes, we saw that they needed assistance with the vegetable garden, but there was also further assistance that the school needed. And so that's where we came on board, and we did the kitchen revamp at the school, where we refurbed the whole kitchen area as well as the dining area where the kids sit and have a dignified meal.
Okay.
Wow, wow.
And this is the room we're sitting in right now.
This is exactly the
so
room.
this is the room, and I mean, I was looking at the kitchen at the back as well, and it's really amazing. I mean, it's a really top class. It's not just something that was chucked together. It's really cozy. And especially on a rainy day like this today, the kids could sit here and eat at peace, not being rushed or anything.
Yes,
so
exactly.
well done, well done.
Thank
really
you so
looks
much
good.
for that.
No, and it is brilliant. It is brilliant. So the initial request was just, we want to do a vegetable garden at school for obvious reasons. We want to harvest whatever we plant.
Yeah, so the extra produce that they get from the vegetable garden feeds into their feeding scheme at the school. So it's-
And that is just basically where and then you saw, well, we could do more.
we could do, definitely we could do more here. So we did the kitchen revamp, and then in September we also hosted our International Literacy Day with the school. So we partnered again with Read to Rise, and we donated mini libraries to the learners, and they had a live interaction with the learners in the classrooms. And then those were for the foundation phase learners, and then for the older grades we did a mental awareness with the upliftment program. So this would be, they put on the headphones, they're outside in the quad, and they'll listen to music, and they'll just in their own space do movements and just bring in mental awareness into the older grades at the school.
Wow.
Wow. And I mean, this is one of the shows we had was mental, the mental capacity of these kids coming from COVID, hunger, this environment they're in. Wow, well done, Grand West.
No, it certainly is, and it is something to applaud because obviously by just listening to that, and obviously we've seen many examples of where you are involved as an organization, of course, but the importance of this, I mean, this is definitely setting an exemplary path for every other business organization or people who want to get involved, especially in and around the community, because where we are, the school in relation to Grand West, I mean, it's not a, you know what I mean? It's practically, in terms of a metropole, this is a stone throw away.
Yeah.
And I know I asked you this, but I really want to stress this as well. How important is it for businesses and organizations to be involved within their community? Do you see the gain in doing that?
I think it's so important for organizations and corporates to go out there in the community and support the community, because, for example, schools, they don't get so much funding or support from education department, so they need that additional funding and sponsorships that they can get out there from the corporate. So it's very important for corporates, if possible, to be assisting the community, getting out there and showing the community that yes, we are a casino, and we people come out there and play, spend their money and go to the machines and everything. But we also give back to those communities that the guests are coming from as well. So I think that's also the important factor.
Definitely.
It is a super important factor. Now, of course, now you're involved, and how long ago did this sort of revamp happen with the vegetable garden? How long ago was this?
So we started December 2021 with the vegetable garden, continued in 2022, just finalizing the project, And then I would say mid-2022 is when we started with the kitchen revamp. Started getting quotes and doing site visits and getting contractors. So we partnered with an exceptional organization called Breadline Africa. They are one of those organizations that assist with prefab units and kitchen revamps and kitchen containers. And they're doing amazing work in the community as well. And we previously partnered with them for a few projects for Grand West as well. So it was only ideal to have them on board at Nebo Primary as well. So they came on board and they did site visits with us, and they constructed and redesigned and refurbed everything that was needed, and it looks amazing. The end result was amazing.
It's fantastic. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is the point we want to get at, because in every community there is a bit of a need, and this is quite a bit of a success story where one organization is involved, and then of course they call their mates, like you say, other organizations that you partner with, and everybody brings a different skill set to it.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you're sitting with something that is like, wow. Do you know what I mean?
It is
Surely
amazing.
this is the envy. I mean, even government must be looking at this going, wow, how did you folks do this?
No, it is true, and it's so important to continue those relationships with the organization and to build on those relationships and to bring them on board on projects that we can bring them on board. So it was we were only happy to work with Breadline.
Let me ask you this, and it's a bit of a naughty question, because I know somebody is watching this and somebody is going, all right, I want to make a difference. I have this to contribute. But clearly, the recipient of my benevolent act needs this and that. But I only have like a little bit of the one thing that is needed. How difficult is it to convince somebody else to partner in order to achieve that?
It's not that difficult, because once again, if you build that relationship, you know, okay, I need assistance with maybe a kitchen refurb. You know exactly who you can go to, and that they will willingly come on board, you know, if there's a partnership that's continuing.
So it is not that difficult. So organizations should be doing it. So there's a couple of screenshots, of course, of what it looks like.
Yes.
And it is absolutely brilliant what we see there. And it's just really, really, really fantastic. And that is obviously the day of the handover, I would assume.
Yes.
And the kitchen is definitely state of the art as well. So when you look at that, Chrissy, I mean, there must be a huge amount of joy and pride.
It's a proud moment. It really is a proud moment. I mean, you get all the stress and the admin work, everything that goes along with all your projects, you know, and everyone coming together last minute to make sure that final touch-ups and everything's in order. But when you do the handover and you see the faces of the little kids walking in and just seeing the new room and the new dining area, that's worthwhile. That's worth everything that we go through. You know? So yeah, that's really a happy moment.
It is. And ultimately, of course, you know, when you partner and you see all of this is a great feeling, but you see the difference, because the end result will be there in terms of the children are getting, or the learners, they're getting a nutritious meal, and that goes a long way.
Yeah, so the feedback that we received so far has been great feedback. You know already that there has been impact with the learners, that the learners are, when they're coming in to receive the meal, they can take a seat and have a dignified meal. And you know, the behavior has changed, it's more positive. So that's good. And you know, attendance might have increased as well, because now knowing that they're getting their meals. So that's also a positive impact.
And then I'm just wanting to highlight this. I saw you coming in with boxes, and I see the boxes is behind us on that side.
Yes.
So what's that all about?
Yeah.
So today, we're also aligning today with our stationery handover. So we're supporting over 350 learners with stationery boxes, with the basic stationery for the 2023 academic year. So these boxes would be for the foundation phase learners. So it's the grade R up to the grade 3 learners that we're receiving stationery boxes.
And they're all getting this?
They all each get in a box, yes.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, so you get your basic, your hard books, your crayons, your glues, your Brit, your rulers. Yeah, it's the basic stationery required for a learner to start the academic year.
Beautiful.
And I mean, just going through, I've kind of gone through those kind of purchases, so I know what, you know what I mean.
What it's all about.
Exactly.
It is a pretty penny indeed.
Exactly. So we are helping, we're assisting the parents as well, because we know station can be expensive. So it's a relief for the parents as well. That we can support us and give it back.
How
Now,
beautiful.
listen, all we can say is just applaud, because you make it look easy. this is the one thing. You make
Thank
it
you,
look
Dugal.
easy. The kind of no, and I mean this. The kind of involvement that you have with the community that speaks to really the required needs.
Exactly.
There's no symposium on this or panel discussion. As you literally, okay, this is what's needed. We go and do it.
Exactly.
This is the kind of attitude we need. This is the kind of woord by daad, if you would, in Afrikaans, it's a nice saying, but that is what you need. Because most of the time, there's always a panel discussion and a commission of inquiry, and before anything, we know what is wrong. We know what needs to be done. This is it.
Yeah.
The need speaks now. And that is the example that I think corporate South Africa needs to follow. I think organization, and they are doing it. But somehow we just falter. And this is why I'm specifically asked you, how difficult is it? Because everybody's got brilliant ideas.
Oh, yes.
And I really think we're a country of solutions. We're a society of solutions. We all have brilliant ideas, but somehow we kind of just get to the table and then it just sort of filters away. So that motivation and determination needs to be commended. Before we let you go, because I know you said, because I know you brought people with your other partners. What would be the story that you would sum this up with?
Passion. Yeah, because without leadership, without the support from the community, this wouldn't have been possible. So coming here with our partnerships, getting the support that we needed from our Mr. Monas, the principal, and the staff at the school, knowing that when we needed to be on site, it was okay, Chrissy, you can come, So working together with the organizations and the school was everything was just working fine. And then obviously the team, our support from the Grand West side, that teamwork is always on top. Yes. I mean, we get amazing support from our ECD committee and our general manager that's just as passionate about community work. And our sustainability team is always there, hands-on, willing to assist. So it's all about teamwork when it comes to Grand West and going out to the communities.
Definitely.
No, it certainly is.
Yeah. There was just Hubert had a little comment there. I just wanted to highlight that comment quickly that Hubert had. We can just have it on the screen quickly. So he said, Chrissy, Mark Twain once said, kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Wow.
My
Thank you,
goodness,
Hubert.
Hubert Paul. So on a Monday,
On a Monday.
on a Monday, he pulls a good one. Yeah, that is impressive. That is impressive. But that is it. And it is, and to add to what Hubert is saying, it is contagious. When people and organizations operate in that sort of way, the esteem and the respect that it sort of commands in a way in terms of vision it is contagious. Everybody wants to be involved with that. And and also just for the record, just to keep a slate very clean, I'm very aware of the involvement of Grand West and the passion of everybody involved there. Very aware. We are very, very aware of that.
And that is why you must come back onto the show on Mahala Monday.
That is why you got to come back.
I'll give the other teammates a chance to come on.
Do that. throw them. Yeah. But listen, Chrissy, what we can say is thank you so much. Thank you so much for the involvement. Thank you for the example that you put for corporate and for the rest of corporate organizations. But more importantly, the passion that is shared within Grand West in itself, to be so proactively involved. That is a huge example, and it is such a humbling experience to witness that on all levels. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you for being here today.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
We love road trips.
We love road trips because Rhoda gets lost at times. But that was Chrissy Dyers, of course. He's the SED officer at Grand West, of course. And they're highly involved when it comes to community projects, as you just heard. And when it comes to social economic development, it is super important. And also what is more important, though, is the one thing that Chrissy said, that none of this is possible with great partnerships. And she highlighted that as well. When she highlighted it, she said, Breadline Africa. And I'm Nella sitting next to Rhoda right now. How's it? Good morning.
Hi
Morning,
Dougal, hi
good
Rhoda.
morning.
Thank you for having me here.
Only a pleasure. We're happy to have you here today because, I mean, just listening to Chrissy, I'm quite excited to hear your side of the story because, I mean, you guys are doing an amazing job. Amazing. Well done, I must say.
No, we must applaud you. Listen, as you sat down,
Yeah.
Hubert had a comment
Another
that
comment
came
there.
up there, like something about you have to feed a child. I sort of missed it, but I'm sure our producers will
There
put
we
it there.
go.
When we feed a child, we feed the future.
That's correct.
There we
And,
go.
as you sat down, that came up, and I thought, wow. But before
Oh,
we
yeah.
before we really talk about your involvement and what has happened here, quickly, just give us the broad overview of Breadline Africa.
Okay, so Breadline Africa is a non-profit organization that we're celebrating our 30th year
Wow.
this year, and just on Friday, this past Friday, we provided our 1,000th infrastructure facility for early childhood development and the foundation phase. So over 30 years, 1,000 units, and that's 250,000 children that have benefited from
Wow.
the infrastructure we provided. So what we commonly do is we started off focusing on container conversions, where it's a simple, easy, and long-lasting, durable, and safe structure that can be up in 6 to 8 weeks. And now we are doing much more prefabricated units like the one that we're sitting in right now. Also testing alternative infrastructure like sandbag construction and fiberglass even.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
yeah. It's new for us, and we're testing it, but it's showing good results.
And is this elements or methods that is now commonly used within the construction industry?
Well, I think what I said about the containers, one of the reasons why we were slowly stepping away from it is just the cost of steel and the cost of containers. And we want to provide a great product and classrooms, kitchens, toilets, and libraries at the best cost to the donors and donors like Sunground West and our individual donors who support us in our work.
You see now, this is the kind of thing, this is what I'm talking about when I say cutting edge, when people
Yeah.
team up, because you talking about, I mean, all of a sudden I'm thinking now, I mean, just think of the advances here in building construction. This is what we're talking about when collaboration takes place, because all of a sudden you got to pull, you got to look at ways to save money, do this, and cost efficient, obviously, so you've got a supply chain as long as from here to
Absolutely.
Kathmandu with all of that, and over 30 years, that is...
That's hard.
Also, we're the same
Well
age,
done.
really.
I haven't been with the organization for 30 years, but that's how long the organization has been.
I wouldn't have remembered. I was
Yeah.
on 31. Yeah. But so now you're involved with this project.
Yes.
So who approached you now, Grand West?
Well, so the project here at Nebo Primary, I know the Sunground West have been involved with the school for a long time. We have a partner organization, and we have more than 30 partner organizations that support us in our work that's focused on foundation phase and ECD, and that is a Peninsula School Feeding Program was our partner that supports this kitchen at this school. And with Grand West coming together, Peninsula School Feeding, and then they approached us to come and help provide this kitchen space to give a good, hygienic, clean space where meals can be prepared, kids can get fed, get energy for the day that's ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sure. And
Wow.
I'm still getting over the numbers here. I mean,
Numbers.
we're talking. How big is this footprint? Where have you been and where have you not been?
Our projects are across the entire South Africa. We have a bit of I'd say a weight or a focus in the Western Cape because our organization's head offices are here, so probably about 40% of our projects is in the Western Cape, but the rest are scattered all across the country. And most are in ECD, in the ECD space. Which is primary school. It's from 0 to 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And then what we do for primary schools like Nebo and some of the other projects that we've also done with Sunground West in this area, we focus on feeding kitchens and libraries. There's so many children that don't have access to any library. And I think a stat came out the other day, they updated the research that I think among 10-year-olds in this country, there's less than 20% that are able to read for meaning. They can read words and they can read, but reading for meaning, reading a book, following a narrative, which is why we're also very focused on providing libraries where kids can come and sit and learn and develop a love for reading.
Sure.
Definitely. You obviously are aware of the fact that, I mean, you are really feeding, not just food-wise, but also knowledge-wise, our future. Because I'm thinking ECD is the early childhood development basically stage, and this is our foundation of our country. So hats off to you guys, because I mean, just to make this impact at the end of the day to our future, it is massive for the corporates out there. I mean, geez, make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually quite staggering that, you know, as a country and as a people, we're very much focused on hearing about the matric results, the dropout rates. We talk about the unemployment rate, but we don't realize that I think it's only 30% of children in our country have any access to ECD programs. And then I believe it is about 80% are technically not school ready when they start their formal educational journeys. And then we wonder why we have so much trouble along the way. And we like to ask people to support us, support Breadline, the way that Sungrown West has supported us, corporates to support us in focusing on having children get a fair start in life.
Exactly.
And let's talk about that. Can people support you? And also, because I asked Chrissy this question, how difficult is it to build partnerships? Because we constantly, you know what I mean, it's like everybody is thinking, I mean, the government, and I don't want to blame the government, but I blame them for a lot of things. But let's be honest for this. Everybody's constantly talking about, let's focus on entrepreneurship. But let's be honest, it's 2023, it's exceptionally more difficult to run a business today and own a business. Ask any business owner out there than what it was last week, let alone last year. So, how can people contribute to Breadline?
Absolutely. At any given moment, we have 150 plus projects planned for the coming year across the country. So at any given stage, we have 10 to 15 projects for immediate funding. And one of the great things also is that...
Does that include skill set as well?
We have our partners organizations for that. So for example, the preschool Poo Educare in Delft that we launched on Friday, we have a partner organization, Grow Educare, and they support the learning requirements of the school, teacher training, those kind of things, where we focus on safe spaces and infrastructure. So you have to have a feeding partner, a teaching partner, library books partner. We're the infrastructure side of things, and we've built lovely networks and we support each other.
I was going to say now you need to rename that collaboration. That's the word we love using. I mean, there's again.
And it's super important. And sorry, because I asked Chrissy this question as well. How difficult is it to build that kind of partnership? Is it easy because you now, with different organizations, different partners, you all have the same sort of passion? Is that easy, or is it difficult? Or is there a bigger need for it?
I think that we don't find it very difficult in terms of non-profit partnerships to gain good partnerships and collaboration, because there's always ways that we can support each other. And able to get corporate sponsors is a little bit more difficult, which is why we're so thankful for Sungrown West, which I think we've done 8 facilities with them over the last 2 years. And I think one of the things that a lot of that is helpful for corporates is to also realize that it is the children of the people that are employed with them, their workers. If you invest in the areas around you, like Sungrown West has, it's also your work. The people that work for you, their children go to these schools. Their children need to grow, and you can help your own workforce. It's almost an investment that comes directly back to you.
And sadly, the need in today's day and age, the need is bigger than it's been ever before.
That's true. That's true.
The need is certainly bigger. But what you are doing is exemplary. What you are doing is completely outlier. It's out of the box. It is fantastic. I mean, this infrastructure is state of the art. It is commendable. And I'm so... You know what, I'm so taken aback that we're looking at alternative ways of construction here. I mean, what you're talking about, it's just really mind-blowing, everything just coming together. And thank you so much for coming on, and may this amazing work that you do, may it long may it continue. For the
Most
benevolent of everybody else.
And you know what I wanted to bring up, because there's something Douglas and myself always saying, especially when it comes to Mandela Day, and you guys are not waiting for Mandela Day, doing it right through the year. The fact that you've got all these projects lined up. And this is exactly what I tell the corporates out there. Don't wait for Mandela Day. You know what? It's happening right through the year. Things are happening. You guys are doing extremely good job. So corporates out there, if you've got sponsorship or money, guys, come on. Good cause at the end of the day.
This is actually a very good week to do it, because the end of the tax year is up, and all the benefits for social investment. So it's a great time to think about that.
That certainly is. And how would people get in touch with Breadline?
You can visit our website at www.breadlineafrica.org, or visit us on Facebook. We're not hard to find. We really we like people to come to us for sponsorship, and we would appreciate any support, people to join our Breadline family.
There we go.
Fantastic, Jan. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank you very much.
so much. Janelle, everybody, he is with Breadline. Go check it out. Yeah, you've got to go check it out. You go to www.breadlineafrica.org. Those are the details, and go check it out. It is just absolutely brilliant, and what they've done is fantastic, in line with the partnership with Grand West as well, and amazing things. And you know what, just to touch on that, because what Chrissy said earlier as well, I mean, you heard her say, I mean, granted, Breadline Africa, it's a passionate organization. This is what they've made their name in this. They've got wonderful partners. If you look at this infrastructure, I mean, I'm telling you now, it is absolutely outstanding. So that is the one side. And then what Kirsty said earlier as well, I mean, she mentioned from the general manager, everybody, the whole passion that runs through it. So it is very, very possible. It is very possible. So it is wonderful where we have these examples in society with corporates and NGOs and organizations like Breadline Africa collaborate, and they make a difference. But ultimately, and we're doing this a little bit the other way around, because our final guest for today represents the school. And before we introduce you to our very, very special guest, today is a big day. Today is a big day. We're having the stationery handover that Chrissy alluded to that is happening. But right now the conversation becomes coalface, because this is where the emotion is. This is why these projects are needed. This is why this call to action is needed. This is why these partnerships are needed. And we've been saying this for the longest time. We've got to make things happen right now. You can't wait for somebody else to do it. Now, Nebo Primary finds itself right here in the sort of center of Ravensmead. And joining us for this discussion here on Mahala Monday, very special welcome to Mr. Manus, Deputy Principal here at Nebo Primary. And firstly, sir, let me just applaud you. Good morning. Welcome to you, the principal, the staff, the whole collective, the management of the school. Because firstly, let me tell you, great things happen when there's extraordinary leadership. This is very evident when you walk in here. When there's a vision, there's a passion, and more importantly, a commitment. This is the one thing, and I'm sorry to say this, but let's start off here because with the criticism. This is the one thing I think teachers and educators get criticized a lot with in today's society. It happens all the time. There's no passion. That is absolutely not true when it's here.
No, that's a lie. I can tell you. First of all, thank you very much for coming to Nebo Primary. Welcome. And it is an honor to have you here and introduce Nebo to a national and international platform. I agree with you there. I feel, look, I'm at the school since 2021, right? And when I got here, I can see there's a upgoing trend of the infrastructure, making it better, making the staff better, making the learners that is here at the school, getting them in order. And so at the end of the day, as I'm sitting here, I'm actually glad for having partners like Breadline, having partners like Sun Grand West, and we're happy at the moment. We're very happy.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for this day also for you being here, promoting the school. It is important for today, it's important for any school to be promoted because you see, sometimes it depends on the numbers of the school.
What are the numbers like here?
Currently, we are 650.
Oh, wow.
In a few years back, I think it's in 2018, we were around 200, 150 to 200
No way.
learners. Yeah. So then they appointed the new principal, the principal that is currently here, Mr. Botha. And then also, the school didn't have a principal, the school didn't have a deputy principal. So they appointed Mr. Botha in 2019. I came here in 2021. And we tackled the issues by the horns. So, yeah. So I think I'm actually very thankful. Okay. And in November 2021, I decided, look, there's only sand that is laying there as you come in. If you look from the outside of the school, you see sand, and we feel, let's put a garden there. And the garden brought the change, but that was from an initiative from the school cell. And then I decided to look around and contact Grand West, see what they can do. And yeah, they are here. They are nice partner. You know what? When if Grand West is coming to the school, let me tell you this. Grand West, we are so excited. We're like children because what are they bringing to us?
But
But
there's so many things you said now. We just gotta go back because we just gotta go back. Yeah, and I get that, but it takes me back to literally to the first thing we said. This is because of great leadership.
Great
so
leadership.
now, because I mean numbers don't lie. So from
Yeah.
200 odd or plus minus, give or
Wow.
take, you went to 600 in the space of how many years? 2-3 years?
So
Over
2.5.
the COVID time.
Yeah, after COVID, last year, the numbers dropped a little. I don't know why. The numbers drop a little, but we bring it up. We will bring it up, especially after the show.
But this is the thing. This is where this is why I say it is wonderful leadership, because let's call a spade a spade. We within not the wealthiest of communities around.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We in what General would describe as a community that is made up from labourers. So we within the Cape Flats area.
Exactly.
So there's social, there's economic challenges within the community, as with large parts in the Greater South Africa and across the landscape. But there are specific needs. So you have a school here that might have had the reputation of not the best school, and no disrespect, and I say this, and this is why the leadership of the school is so commendable, and you yourself said it now, you've gone from 200, whatever, we're talking a year before COVID or so, those numbers, it's 300% increased up until now, because this is now the flagship school within the community. And the foresight that you, as staff at the school had, in line with the principal and other people who've made wonderful suggestions where there's field and you utilizing this for the betterment of the community. And all of a sudden, parents and everybody who's driving past see this.
Yeah.
And now this becomes the jewel of our community. And that is why it is so commendable. This is why it is amazing. And now you've gone out and you've seeked out partnerships, and then and then it's easy. Because these corporates, they look, okay, now they're doing something, let's jump in. So this is the thing, and this is why it is so important.
Yeah, and the other thing also about our school is that we don't only serve the community, right? What the principal did, he decided to bring in learners from other communities also, like from Nyanga, Khayelitsha, Delft, Kraaifontein, Easter River. They brought that learners in now. So you will see in the morning, you will see a lot of taxis in front, and in the afternoon you will see a lot of taxis in front. And then it's not only, we serve also foreigners here. There's a lot of foreigners. There's about 200 foreigners at the school.
Wow.
Right? And that is where the need is also coming from, where Grand West is coming in and Redline is coming in, because our foreigners, for example, you know how it goes. They have to work day by day. They have to work for the income, and that is why we felt provide food to them, so that the expenses of the foreigners are not. We actually cultivate love and kindness to this, not only to the foreigners, to all our learners. We cultivated love in their children, so that they know when they move from here. That is our aim. When they move from here, they can cultivate, they can sow that seed of compassion into the other learners, into other people.
Now, quickly, so you got a vegetable garden. Before we talk about all of this, where we find ourselves, you got a vegetable garden. What do you grow?
There's cabbage, there's lettuce, there's tomatoes, there's beans. I saw some corn also there now. I'm waiting for that. Yeah, and also spinach there. And what we do, we bring all that veggies. We will bring. Sometimes it's too much, then we sell it, because the people that is working in the garden it's a group. Disabled group. They don't like us to call them disabled. They want us to call them the able group, right? And they work in the gardens day by day. They come in, and we just take the veggies out of the garden and bring it into the kitchen. Lovely meal for the learners and for the teachers also. Sometimes.
I was gonna say now. Don't say anything. We had a photo up there. When I was here earlier, you spoke to a lady and you called her auntie. And you know, it was so heartwarming to me, because it just shows the family. There's auntie on the screen at the moment. And you know, just her having to feed the kids, and just the way she was so happy just to be able to put the food down and give it to them and have them seated, basically, and make sure their chairs was ready, their tables was ready. I mean, I was impressed with auntie. And just the fact that how you spoke to her as well, just the relationship there for me was extremely beautiful, and just shows me exactly what's happening at the school, where there's everybody working together. And the fact that you said, look, I'm going to send some more guys just to help, because we were having the show here. She needed help just to clear up. So beautiful, beautiful. And I mean, there's the meals as well that the kids had. And the fact that she said, don't worry, I've got to sort it out. I was like, wow, I would love to have somebody like that in my kitchen. You know, so very, very beautiful.
For us, it's important. Management is not only about, hey, you must do that and you must do that and you must do that. That is the compassion that I'm talking about, that one must have, because now I don't have to stand and watch after auntie every time to come here and watch after. She knows what to do, because she knows what is expected from her, and she do it out of love.
Oh wow! And she's a fabulous person.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this. So in terms of, I mean, the infrastructure here, because I think this is really a fabulous structure. It really, really is. I mean, we're talking state of the art here. So how many meals are prepared here daily? Who eats here?
Daily in the morning, the learners will have their porridge. And also I need to say, we signed up with the feeding scheme, Western Cape feeding scheme. We signed up with I think 85 learners. Up till today, we feed like 300 and more learners now. Now, if you sign up for 85 learners, then they will only bring that amount of food to the school, right? So that is where the garden comes in.
So the garden gets you to 300.
The garden folded up, yeah. So we don't complain. We try to get the numbers right, but it's very difficult to get the numbers now right with the Western Cape department. So what we do, we bring in the vegetables in, and the principal will buy more than what we need. Also, sometimes you will buy some stuff, some food, extra tins of food that we can add to the food. So that is the what.
It is.
I don't know if I answer your question now.
No, you said the 300, yeah. And this is 5 days a week?
Oh yeah. The porridge in the morning, and say around 10, we will give them a meal, and then sometimes in the afternoon we will also give them bread.
Wait, so we're not talking 1 chow a day here.
No.
We're talking
about
porridge?
plus minus 300 learners.
Yeah, and we're talking porridge every day?
Porridge every day.
Then the meal every day?
Every day.
And then a sandwich possibly every day?
Possibly every day, a sandwich.
Not?
Well done.
Wait. All right.
The numbers are sticking at the side.
We're not talking 1 meal here.
No.
All right. You have absolutely no excuse. I don't care what it is you do. We're talking 3 meals here.
Yeah.
It's porridge, then the actual meal.
Yeah.
Not the one like I thought though. Did you also think?
I thought it was one.
It's more than one chow. Okay?
Yeah.
It's more than one. So it's porridge, then the meal, and then a sandwich. Possible.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me you can't be involved. There's huge corporates out there. You cannot tell me you can't provide one apple. If you haven't thought about it, you have to do it now. Otherwise, we will redefine your purpose and our purpose. This is what, because this is what society is crying out for.
Yeah.
And this is why I commend the leadership. And I think the leadership at
leadership.
this school is honestly fantastic. Because for too long, teachers get criticized. And yes, you know, like everything. I mean, we all get criticized. Everybody gets criticized. That's
Everybody.
fine. You know, my
Yeah.
sports team don't perform, I criticize them. That's my
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so we can all get criticized. No problem with that. But most of it is constructive. But because it is, you know what it is? I mean, I don't think teaching is, it's a vocation, isn't it? It's a calling.
It is a calling.
Because it's not just teaching somebody what's in a book, it's teaching somebody to be a person. Because let's be honest, mom and dad, we're working. You come home at 5, 6 o'clock, kids are in bed if you're lucky. By the time you get home, you know, you don't get to spend time. And it's just super, super important.
And on top of that, Dougal,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think you guys can probably adhere to the fact that a lot of these kids go home, sometimes not even to a meal. You know, they're struggling. So the fact that you actually preparing this for the day, I mean, I'm going to get emotional, I don't want to. But I mean, that this kid can actually go sleep with a full tummy, or at least have something in his stomach, and come to school and actually have education, because education for me is very important. And if you're hungry, I've been hungry, and not hungry like some of these kids and some people that's actually starving. You cannot concentrate. You cannot concentrate. So, I mean, I can just imagine how important this is to these kids and the difference you made. And I do believe that, I mean, we had a conversation before this, the school was actually going to be closed at one stage. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That is in 2018. You see the area where we are in now is the people don't really work in this area. And we know why. But that children, they come from home. They didn't eat because mommy's not working, daddy's not working, auntie's not working, grandma is not working, and they live in houses where there's 4 or 5 families in that house. And around the house it's a lot of this backyard dwellers, if I can call them. So definitely somebody have to make a plan at the school to feed that children. Otherwise they sit in the class, you teach, they can't take in because they're too hungry.
Exactly.
That is a scenario.
Now, looking at, I mean, the success of this program has been running. The change has certainly been positive. How has this affected it, the bare basics in terms of education in the class, the progression of the learners? How's the...
Our learners are doing well, I can tell you that. And the proof is the reports that we can get from the district officers and from head office and so on. And you can go into any class now. At the back of the profile, of the teacher's profile, you will see the report results of the district and of the head office. All of it is good.
Oh, wow.
All of it is good. And we're doing well here. The learners are doing well. We sit with, in one class, average in one class, we will sit with 4 to 5 learners that have to be retained maybe, or progress with assistance. So the teachers are working. We leave school sometimes. Sometimes we leave school 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Wow.
We sit here at the school, assist where we can. We have our Elson teachers. We get in. If you have problems like socioeconomic problems, we get but these are in. And they last week they were here at the school because we want to assist that child so that that child can come and sit in the class and listen to what is going on and perform when it gets to assessment. That is what we want.
There are many schools who find themselves probably in a very similar situation and are also looking at what now? You know, I mean, for any positive change to happen, I suppose you've got to be down in a very dark hole at some point.
Yeah.
There are schools thinking this. There are management of structures of those schools thinking what to do. What would you say to those people?
Look, my concern was at first, I was thinking, we sit with this gold pot here now of a breadline pot and the Grand West pot of gold here. And we would like to share, but at first we thought we couldn't share that information. And then Chrissy came here once, and Chrissy, I asked her, Chrissy, there's some schools that wants to know, how did you get this right? So she said, share. That's the love that we want. We want to share. And so we share. On that day, I found one school. That principal came to me on that same day. I want that information now, please. And we share. And we share. But you won't understand, right? It is, for us who know, it is like something that we have to treasure, because all the schools don't have that. They just don't know how to get to a point where they can get help.
Yeah.
And we were lucky. We were lucky.
And let me ask you this, because this is and this is a bit of a naughty question, but it is really my final question. I will behave from this point onwards. I will be honest. But I want to ask you this, because a lot of times when there's donors, people always like, yeah, is my donation going to be effectively managed? You know, there are concerns. People don't want to just give. They're always a little bit concerned. Obviously, where you now, as a school, you're the custodian of this amazing, let's call it, gift. There's a bit of pressure here. There's pressure. You've got to manage this effectively. You can't, sort of break it down any sort of way you would want. You've got to manage this effectively. Does that put pressure? And I suppose it doesn't, because I'm answering myself here as well, because I can see the way you operate. I can see the way you operate.
Yeah.
This is passion and love and just brilliant commitment. But there are those concerns. There are corporates out there. There are organizations out there that go, yeah, maybe not this one. They're gonna. It's a bit of a waste of our time, or whatever the reason it might be.
Yeah. No, listen. We want to be responsible. We want to take charge, so that they check up on us every 3 months. So I see that I write my reports. I see that I come in here every day in this kitchen, every day. Auntie, is it clean? Auntie, clean there. Auntie, don't let the learners. I made arrangements with structures that if the learner must come, they come into that door and they have to leave. As Auntie, don't let them go out there, because they bump to one another, food will fall out and so on. Let them go out through the other door. And such arrangements I do. The reason for that is when Grand West come here, when Breadline come again, this room must look still like it looks the first time when Grand West see and leave it like this into our hands. The same with the garden. I was worried last week. Grand West told us they're going to come for an audit here. So I just see that everything is now right now. So I realized they took all the cabbage out now, because harvest time now, it was empty now. I went to the garden and said, guys, Grand West must still come for an audit here. They said, sorry sir, we're going to plant now again. But that must happen. Harvest time must happen.
Exactly.
So, so we see that the stuff is intact here, and we keep it, and we want to show them that, yes, as you put it, we want to show them we are responsible for what you put into our hands. And we're going to keep it there. And we also, I'm scared that just now Chrissy said, you don't look after your stuff, we're not going to give you this and this.
And the only reason I'm asking, because I think there is, because we work, Rhoda and I, obviously, and all the stuff we do with the For Humanity projects as well, we work in the space where there's a reality of donor fatigue.
Oh yes.
And then there's something I want to almost call donor lack of trust. And these are real emotions, because we're dealing with real needs. We're dealing with real emotions. But the only thing I can certainly say from what I've witnessed in a very short space of time, wow,
Wow.
Absolutely wow. I mean, when you walk in through the front door, this is a humbling experience. Everything here. This is an exemplary example of outstanding partnership, leadership, compassion. All the things we aspire to is here in abundance.
Oh yeah.
And
Well
I just
done.
want to tell you also, like, because of Grand West came on board now and brought a bread line also on board. Right, that day with the opening of the kitchen, bread line called me aside and said, "Listen, we're going to send you an application form for a library."
Oh wow. Oh wow.
So we are waiting on that one.
Hey, well
We'll be
done, Breadline. Well done.
We're coming for the library, man.
We're
We're
gonna be here for the library.
put pressure on Breadline. We're gonna put pressure on Breadline.
Definitely.
We're gonna put
The
pressure.
library is going to be there.
Is that one is and is there anything else you would like to add? I know we've we've kept you a little bit longer than promised, but it's Rhoda's fault. She talks a lot. But is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I just want to thank Breadline. I just want to thank Grand West for what you do, not only to us, but to the community. You really feed the community. You really bring structure into the community, and I thank you very much. Thank you, Grand West. Thank you, Breadline. Thank you for you guys also.
Our
Very
pleasure.
important that I need to thank you, because I feel this is it's a good setup for the school, for the future. Thank you very much.
Big
My
pleasure, sir.
pleasure.
Absolutely our pleasure.
Definitely.
We're very humble to be here, and I speak for both
Most
Rhoda
definitely. And our team.
Yeah, and everybody. I was going to ask you if you have any questions for Rhoda,
No.
but let's leave it there.
Let's leave it at that.
let's
Hubert's
leave-
got the word in there.
What does Hubert
Yeah.
say? He says, if you want to change the way community respond to you, change the way you respond to
There
people.
we go.
Do you know what? I mean,
Well done.
yeah. Hubert is quite clever. Eh? Is he always this
He's
smart?
always a smart one.
He really is. It's because he knows we're at a school today. He's now putting on his learned cap. But be as it may, do you know what? Thank you so much for your time,
Thank
sir.
you
Thank
so
you so much
much.
for your time.
Yeah.
We know you are super busy. Thank you so much for your time as well. Listen, Rhoda. In closing, let's be honest. We talk about collaboration. We talk about partnership. We talk about amazing initiatives when the need arises, and then people getting together and do this. We see, and we kept saying it now. We see this in abundance. This is the example for every society. Doesn't matter where you are now, what community you are in. This is the example. This is living proof.
This is the big proof. And you know what? As we drove in and this morning, just looking at the garden, that's the first thing I saw. Was like, oh, look at the garden, you know, and. Just starting off there makes such a big difference. And if you're looking at the food that actually gets used for these kids, like I said, being here, watching these kids eat Dougal, it was so emotional for me, you know, just having to see them actually eat a meal. And you could see some of them were like, just like, you know, going at it, and some of them were like taking their time. But you could see exactly, I mean, this one little kid was taking the spoon eventually. I was watching him and he was like, you know, the last bit that was there.
Was enjoying it.
It's really such, and looking at this venue, looking at this, I mean, the corporates out there, I'm sorry, you guys need to step up. You need to step up.
This is it.
And not wait on government.
Yeah.
Two of us was always saying, don't wait on government,
Look,
it's up to you to make a difference.
Yeah, it is, and it is a two-way argument. We're not saying it is down to solving social problems in the community is down to corporate South Africa. Nobody is saying that. But what I am saying is that we are bombarded with problems. We all know at a certain time of the day you can't switch on your kettle and lights, and we all know that. We have multiple challenges. And this is just one challenge, but it is a challenge that encompasses everything.
Yeah.
So we're not throwing blame or saying you should step up. What we are saying is you need to be more responsible. But more importantly, you need to be more aware.
Aware.
At the end of the day, all we're saying is humanity, the sense for humanity needs to exist in everything we do. As a business, you can't just look at your balance sheet and says what is coming out. But more importantly, any organization will tell you the most important part of their organization, most valuable part, are the people who make it alive, the people who work there.
Exactly.
And this is what we're saying. You yourself can't change the world, but damn it. Me, you, and the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy, and the next woman, when we all hold hands, we can change the universe. And that is the important thing. That is the lesson. We came here today because this is a fantastic example for everybody.
It was a good story that had to
this
be
is,
told.
do you know what? We bombarded with bad stories. This is a hell of a story.
It's a good one.
This is a hell of a and granted now, these people make it look easy, okay? No. I mean, the school is brilliant. The school make it look easy. Then they got Grand West involved. They got they make it look easy. But the point is, it came from nothing. It's made look easy now because people were holding each other's hands. Working together. And this is the thing when you have great partnership. It's not about what I do, it's what we do. And along the line, I mean, there, Johan Nel said it as well. I mean, alternative building methods. Who would have thought of that? I mean, I'm just saying.
Exactly.
This is where it kind of ends. But all we can say is just pat your head. And look, it's a positive story and it's definitely something...
to be told.
Yeah. And get involved. Get involved wherever you are. So, as easy as that, of course, Nebo Primary is here in the middle of Ravensmead as well. I promise you, it is really fantastic. Everybody, check out the school. It is really a wonderful school. And you heard here from the Deputy Principal as well, Mr. Amanis, and to him and the team and the Principal and everybody involved here, you can only tip your hat. And if you are a parent or a guardian, you are lucky if your child is here. You are lucky, and this is the kind of people that shapes the future. To organizations such as Breadline Africa, I mean, what can you say? What you know, you can only commend them and definitely support them. Be involved as well. And go check out, you'll find them on the website, which is www.breadlineafrica.org. Go check it out. And then, of course, Grand West, highly involved with the community around them. They definitely serve, and that passion comes all the way through, from the top all the way down to even the SED department. You heard from Chrissy Dyers as well. So thank you very much to Chrissy, thank you very much to Johan, thank you very much to Amanis from Nebo Primary for joining us, and more importantly, thank you for watching. Now, as always, remember to like and share this, and this is definitely a fantastic experience for us, wasn't it?
It definitely was, guys. So don't forget, subscribe and hit the bell.
And we'll see you soon with the next edition of Mahala Monday. Until then, from Rhoda and myself here on our road trip, take care. Are we doing another road trip soon?
I would love to. We'll speak to the director.
Yeah. Cheers.